Howdy, Ethonra here, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XV Shadowbringers. Hey, welcome to the stream. So, you might be wondering where I'm at. Well, I changed it up a little bit. Decided to rock this outfit, probably for the rest of the video. And of course, it wouldn't be complete without... Yep. Of course, it's not exactly Squall's outfit. If you look closely enough, you see the only real part of it is the jacket and the weapon. But we'll talk about that later. I decided to start here because... level 80 now. The funny thing about this is because I started the Shadowbringers expansion so late, I didn't have to do a single hunt. I just leveled up. Of course, the 2 million EXP that I got from a leveling roulette kind of helped. Creamy middles, that's a new one. Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't beg. Oh, cutscene. By the way, the fact that she says wicked white, I'm gonna have to remember to touch on that later. Oh, now I understand. That's where the clan got its name from. Uh... He did mention you have to be crazy, so no, it's not wise. See? Interesting, because I think that must mean that he... Well, we'll see. And I just agreed to it. Okay. Alright, I'll keep an eye out for that one. Okay, so, let's see. We're gonna go and see what Alice has been up to. Launch. Anyone else remember Launch from Dragon Ball? Golden hair princess. Sneezes. Yeah, she was a catch. Tien absolutely missed out. Yep, let's go.
From this parched earth, the nation of Nabath, Arang, once rose. When I journeyed here, long ago, I spoke with a sun-weathered elder. He told me Armarang meant majestic land in the language of his people. And so it might still be, were it not for the light's unrelenting onslaught.
I'm getting some serious Ul'dah vibes from this place, and needless to say, Limsa Lominsa from the other one. So before we get into this too deeply, I wanted to comment on one of my things I said in the last video about the pixies. I had thought they were trying to make them seem genderless by saying it's a girl, but giving it clearly a man's voice. And the reason why I thought that is because Final Fantasy XIV has amazing voice actors. They're all very talented. Even the people, the in-game people that I don't care for or straight up don't like, even they have really good voice actors. Take Taru for example. Her voice fits perfectly for a Lalafell. So it wouldn't be all that hard to get someone who would suit the voice for the pixie. I think her name was... I can't remember the first name. I think her last name was Ul. But yeah, in one of the dialogue options, it did mention her being a she. So I was like, okay, it is clearly a she. They do have genders. I just thought it was weird that they didn't get a appropriate voice actor is all. Hey, I say that sometimes. Straight as an arrow. And yeah, unfortunately, that thing down there was kind of spoiled for me because someone, I think on Twitter, posted it. So I know that's supposed to be like the cactars of this world. The Gigantender. Perfect timing. But yeah, I'm walking, so it'll give me time to talk. Something else I wanted to comment on is you might have noticed some of my videos, my intros aren't all exactly the same, and I'm working on a permanent one. Well, much to my horror, I noticed that in majority of my videos, my intros sound very similar to another YouTuber, a very popular one. Alright, so yeah, it turns out that because I've been watching this YouTuber for years, I guess I subconsciously took his. But yeah, my intro is almost tick for tack the same as Markiplier's. And when I realized that about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was very disheartened because I didn't do it on purpose. But obviously anyone who's going to see it pre this video is going to think I was doing it on purpose. So that's real unfortunate. So I've been trying to think of more appropriate, more unique intros for myself to do. Hey, welcome to the stream. There was something else I wanted to talk about. Let's see, the Pixies, the intro. Oh, I remember now, but let's see what he's about to do. Let me say it right now, because I actually did forget this. So, something I like about the dialect of the people of this world is that they make a lot of praising shadow references. Like, this dude says, "Blessed Shadow," "Wicked White," "Shadows Save Me." I think that's cool. Like, they really don't like the light, not that I can blame them. So yeah, there's that, and then something else I mentioned in the last video when we went to that city. Lord, what's his face? I was trying to place what race he was, because he didn't look like he belonged to any. Not even an overbloated Elzen seemed like that would be appropriate. So it's my thinking that he doesn't belong to any of the races. Either he is completely and utterly unique, or he is a sin eater. Because the dude didn't just start off fat. He had to have gotten that way from pigging out. Yep, I could tell by the name it'd be one of you. Yeah, and they don't have the mask. I wonder if they talk like them. What beady eyes.
Master Gengen, this is the friend of the Exarch I was telling you about.
Very good, very good. Though friend or no, all are welcome in Mords.
Okay, I see I found another exception to the voice actors thing.
Souk is Mordish for city. As things stand, this souk boasts the largest and busiest marketplace in all Armorang. You'll find ore from the mines here, of course, but all manner of other things too, many of them rare. As I told you before, not many visit Armorang by choice, but Mord souk's a different story. Merchants come from miles around to purchase the relics the Mord dig up.
Relics,
Aye, that
you
they
say?
do. For Mords do not dismiss the spoils of the earth. We clean them and polish them and reveal to the world their true value.
See, this is kind of ironic. This is kind of what I'd imagine a male fairy would sound like. He would just need to talk a little bit higher and maybe faster, and he would nail the pixie voice. He has the voice for it.
That is why they come here. Come from far away. Come with much money.
See?
And so our souk is always busy, busy, busy. No such thing as a thing no one needs.
You say that every time, Master Gengen. Some sort of family motto, wasn't it? Or perhaps a Mord philosophy, for which we should all be very grateful. Would that everyone was so willing to take in refugees regardless of race or creed.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Now then, if you intend to spend any time here, you'll want to gain the trust of the locals.
So that means side quests.
And there's a little custom all newcomers are expected to observe.
The cracking of the coin purse. You buy one thing from the market. Price can be low or high, just as long as you buy.
As the good Maud says. In fact, the Exarch sent a little something to cover this very expense. A Verbert gold piece, no less. The first I've held in years.
Verbert gold? Real Verbert gold?
Here, newcomer, crack your coin purse with me.
Oh no, you want my goods, newcomer? I have jars and pots all smooth and shiny.
Over here! Come and look!
You buy, you buy?
Enough of that! Calm, I say! This one must still journey through the barrens. Nothing bulky, nothing heavy, no pots. Nothing better for the road than a full belly. Spend that piece at Ronron's place, yes? Eat for 3 before you leave.
I'll eat for 1. Thank you. It does feel kind of weird being here. It's like Limsa and Ul'dah were smashed together. Oh, and sorry if I slur sometimes. That happens even when I'm not drunk. So yeah, one of the things I like about this outfit here, whenever I do that, like his hands are in the feathers, like they're pockets. Nice little touch. And I guess also while I'm at it, something I always liked about Squall's Gunblade, the revolver, aside from it's just being so beautiful, is the sword's tip. I call that a scorpion tail, because, I mean, look at it. I always loved, there it goes again, I always loved swords that have that scorpion tail design. I just think it looks very unique, it looks very practical, I just like it. Kind of like Nero from Devil May Cry 4, the cool one. His sword, the Red Queen, has a scorpion tail. Oh, this should be interesting. Never had to do this for food. I'm getting Bloodborne flashbacks again. That sounds like a pretty good idea. I'm starting to regret not eating before I started playing this. Oh, I hope you don't do that to them while they're still alive. I would sooner die a million different ways than be skewered like that. I'll take the mush loaf. Not gonna lie, I kind of wanted that meat, but it doesn't look cooked, like at all. Eat up. You'll like it. Come on, Zio, you've been through worse. But I can't have you croaking over here. Yeah, let's share the rest. Yay, my coin purse. Well, you know what? I'm not even going to make that joke. It's too easy. It's okay, Zio. I got you. I should know better from someone who calls their food merchandise and not food. That would have been a perfect chance to put something funny in there. Well, thank you. See, that's what I'm talking about. Real quick before I forget this too. So, the side quests, I'm still not going to do them on camera. Kind of wish I would, but I'm not, because we're all here for this. There was one side quest that involved this cat girl that couldn't really sing, but she thought she could. So I had to find a private place for her to sing at. And a few side quests later, there was this man who mentioned there being like sea witches and roaming banshees near the lighthouse that would cause people to have splitting headaches. So we go to investigate. We find nothing, not even monsters to fight. And when we come back, once he's calmed down, he realizes that that noise he might have been hearing was that cat girl singing. So again, funny stuff. I should have switched over to my red mage so I could have got that EXP. Yeah, sure. Okay. And also, since none of them directed me to do it, I guess I'll just do it myself. At least I forget and we end up being taken to like a different map or something. Also, speaking on designs, as much as I love this gunblade, and believe it or not, it is my favorite. I even love it more than the Lionheart from Final Fantasy VIII. Something I'm not going to lie that I'm slightly disappointed about is there's no keychain on it. And I know. In the original Final Fantasy VIII, it didn't have a keychain, which is fair. But there are two problems with that. One, they did give it to him later in things like Kingdom Hearts and Dissidia. And two, and more importantly, if you have the discerning eye like I do, if you look really closely at the handle, you'll see a little circle. See it? Right there against the rocks. That's where the keychain would go. And not to mention, they could have done it. Yeah, it would have taken a little extra work, but much more people would have appreciated it. Much more people would have appreciated it if they had. Because, well, I would have. Because to me, the small details do matter. It's the small details that make up the big details. Okay, I just wanted to see what would happen if I did that. So, a little shopping list. What's my name? Thon. Thol. Mythal Mill. Alright, I'll try to remember that. Oh, good. I can use my mount. Here we go. Speaking of cactuses, or cacti, the old house I used to live in had cactuses growing outside of it. The only one in like the entire street. I thought it was kind of cool. I took it to class as a show and tell thing one time. But yeah, so I actually took the cacti to school, I think in like 2nd grade. I wrapped it in aluminum foil. It helped somewhat, but if I wasn't careful, I still would get pricked. And it didn't happen to me, thankfully, but I can pretty much imagine what it'd feel like to reach into a backpack and get a fistful of cactus. Yeah, that almost sounds like a slogan of some kind. I'll have to be sure and remember that. No, it wasn't you. There was... I think we just talked to, who was left? We got the cactus. And I think Mole is who we just talked to. Oh, I know how to check. Yep, sure was. Nice. Also, let me try this out. Yep, good. Thaltal. So they finally made it possible to use items while riding your mount. For example, in the old days, you had to, by the way, this is the original Aether Compass. I never got rid of it, so I'm kind of proud of that. Held on to it since the very beginning. Anyway, in the old days, and with the Aether Compass, you'd have to dismount, then use it, then remount, then find the Aether Current. Now it's just... that is so much more convenient. I don't know why. It reminds me of another little saying I have when it comes to doing things like that. It's like, why didn't you do that in the first place? Why would you think this was a good idea to leave as is? Like, contrary to popular belief, people do in fact like quality of life. I would say changes, but that too, but quality of life, anything. If it makes things easier... Okay, no, that's not him. If it makes things easier, people will like it. Unless they're like, I don't know, professionals and they want to challenge or something. But as far as this is concerned, everyone would like it. There's no reason not to. And bear with me, I always hate missions like this. I'll say this though, this would be a good chance for you to go and get you something to eat. I know I wish I had. Let me make sure they're not being dirty and putting it on the very brink. They've done that before with missions like this. I remember one time on my PlayStation 3. Yep. See, what I tell you, right on the precipice. Not sure how I missed them, but whatever. Anyway, one time on my PlayStation 3, bless the thing, it did not have the iron. Yeah, my Lalafell got a strong back. Anyway, so my PlayStation 3 didn't have the power, for lack of better terms, to load everything like this. Oh, well, there's not a lot of people here, but in Mordona, there's a lot of people there almost constantly. And there was this mission where I had to find someone with the little circle thing. And obviously it was much more degraded, or downgraded, I should say, than the one we're using now. So it took me like every time I go to one side of the map, people would despawn. Then I had to wait for them to respawn. They're not there, so I have to go to another side of the map. Those people would despawn, and this place I'm at would respawn. It was so annoying. It made it finding who I was looking for very difficult. I think it took about 15 minutes, maybe longer. Also, I think I might have broken my record. Maybe. Oh, do you? What gave it away? The height. Did she tell you the one about Bahamut? There was a very special dialogue for doing the coil of Bahamut. Yeah, I'm a handful. Of course. Wait, what'd she say about me? Hey. Uldah's desert ain't got nothing on this. Oh, I should also mention one of the things I love about being a Lalafell is how you're like kind of small in stature, just a little bit. So when you're fighting huge enemies, to me it just makes it feel that much more epic. Like, for example, my little Lalafell here, fighting enemies the size of, say, Nidhogg, or Bahamut, or Omega, or King Thornton, just makes it that much cooler. And speaking of being so small but giant attacks, well, I'll show you in a second. I'll just keep it basic for now. And check this out. Now tell me that does not look cooler, being a Lalafell as opposed to a super tall Elzen or Aura. If it bit me, I didn't feel it. Oh, you weren't a distraction at all. I was distracting myself, if anything. Oh, someone's fighting an Adamantoise, or whatever its first equivalent is. Or the first, I should say. No, that doesn't really change up the terminology, does it? And I know I said I probably should have changed over to my red mage for the quest things, but since I'm recording, I'm not going to worry about it. I'll just do it when I'm doing side quests, like I was for the last batch. Also, while we're here, well, let me kill one of these Coyotes first, then I'll mention it. Something I really don't, and I'm going to keep it basic too, I'll just use the full combo on the other one. Something I don't regularly do is use rotations. I'm more of a reacting type of player. I just react to whatever's going on, as opposed to I'm going to go into this situation and give it a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10 kind of thing. Back to 8, then 2, then 5. That's too much. But thanks to how this class operates, I did come up with a little rotation of my own. To do it, I need 2 charges. This thing's probably going to die. Yeah, it's probably going to die. I'll just keep it basic. I'll show you the next time we fight something. But yeah, it's a little combo that I came up with. I'm quite proud of it. Can't wait to show you. I'll use it on an enemy with full health. And if it comes to it, I'll just start a fight, you know, just to show you. Also, I also kind of hate to say it, but the fact that people are running around with that particular minion kind of makes me feel like I know what's going to happen, which is a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because that means one of my theses are correct, but it's also a downside because that means it's inadvertently a spoiler. So, look how tiny my footprints are compared to his. You almost don't even see mine. That's probably the most interesting bodyguard I've ever seen in my life. He is wearing one of my favorite tops, though. I do like the all the bags and pockets. You know, as eager as I am to see what comes of this, I'll go ahead and get a move on. Very interesting, though. Oh, there's my catchphrase again. Yeah, this thing does not like sand. Oh, nearly booped her with the car. Ancient lizard, you say? I'll fight one of these things. They kind of annoy me. Scissor jaws. So let me show you that combination I was telling you about. First, yeah, that's kind of it. I actually messed it up, but you get the idea. Actually, maybe you don't, because I messed it up. You know what? Let me show you again. Let me pick on something else. Also, for those of you who haven't seen it yet, one of the cool things about Bloodfest is it's actually the... I'm kind of surprised they just didn't call it draw, because that's actually what it is. But it's the draw animation from Final Fantasy VIII. See? So that's pretty neat. So let me try again. He still didn't survive it, but the last hit would have been from blasting zone. That's pretty much how the combination's supposed to go. Another thing I like about this outfit is I'm a big fan of things like feathers and wolves. So if Squall's symbol had been a wolf, he might have won me over more than Cloud. But birds is still a second favorite. Oh, you know, now that she said that, I'm glad she did, because I nearly forgot. There was a side quest, and this is why I say the side quests are actually worth doing, even though I'm not showing them. For those of you who have the game and haven't done it, you should absolutely do them. But there was a side quest where this man mentioned there was a strange drunk that he wanted me to deliver his ale to. So I went to one person, then the next, then to the next. And it turns out the man had went to an inn to like drink himself out of his mind. And when I went to go give it to the person who's going to be the middleman, he's going to give it to the drunkard. He told me, let me think real quick, make sure I don't mess this up. He basically said something like he heard him screaming all night long and that he's already in the process of transformation, so it's no wonder he's turned to drinking. I'm like, transforming into what? And then, of course, the dude never got, he just mentioned he's transforming, then left it alone. So I guess we got some Bloodborne stuff going on. I completely forgot about that. I'm glad she mentioned the Afflicted. I forgot about that side quest. How somber. Yeah, I know, right? I'm hoping her reaction is a bit more entertaining than Alphino's was. Also, funny story about this bike. I love it a lot. I mean, it's called the Fenrir. How could I not love it? It's the name of a Norse wolf. Oh, they got zombies. I wonder if that's the transformation. Or mummies. They're actually mummies. They got bandages. Anyway. Anywho, yeah, I like this bike, but holy crap, did the music annoy me when I first got it. I'm used to it now. I guess I was expecting maybe like the Final Fantasy VII battle theme or something. But the music... Oh, what am I doing? But the music that comes with it does suit it because it plays during a motorcycle sequence. But at the same time, I really wish they had used the battle theme or something. Something a bit more catchy. Because, I mean, it's a cool-looking bike with that not-too-cool song. But that's just my opinion. I'm sure that's, like, someone's favorite soundtrack out of the entire game, even more than One Winged Angel. Dang, she walks heavy, doesn't she? I wonder if the zombies can take the full combination. Let's find out. Combination complete. That's how it's supposed to look. I call it the Zeo combination. Feel free to try it for yourself. Or the X combo. I guess that works too. I really love the markers now that they show you like where, like up or down. I really love that. For the most part, it's kind of unnecessary. Like obviously I can see it from right here, but I'd rather have it than not have it. Like I'd rather have people have the options to do whatever than not be able to. And I'll give you an example in a second. Like case in point, one of the reasons why, say for example, a healer is never going to be able to wear like heavy set armor is because allegedly Yoshi P, or someone with a lot of sway, doesn't want that to break the feel of the game. Like what kind of healer is going to be walking around wearing dark light armor that a tank should be wearing, that kind of thing. Yeah. But I rather give the players the option to do that if they so desire, as opposed to not to. That way they have the option to choose as opposed to the choice being made for them. That kind of thing. Because there are many outfits I wish I could wear as a tank that I can't because I'm not a DPS. Like, I'll show you my samurai in a second, for example.
Get back here!
Oh, I recognize that voice.
Is that... It can't be.
Huh.
Just a lesser sin eater. Nothing to write home about. I knew you'd turn up sooner or later, but I had been hoping for sooner.
Yeah, that's the Alisei I know. So much sass. No, she has a different weapon.
How are you?
I noticed her outfit was different, but I just noticed the weapon is different too. Oh, I've seen better days. I mean, I'm doing better now. Well, you should have saw me when I had that meal a second ago.
We've fought them to a standstill then. The XIV did say that the Empire seemed to have drawn back when he last looked in on the source. But without knowing for sure how fast time was passing there, I couldn't help worrying that a lot might have happened since then. I'm heartily relieved to hear that it hasn't, just as Alphino must have been. As you can imagine, both he and Urianger were desperate to hear the news from home when I arrived. I haven't actually seen Thancred and Y'shtola yet, but they will have heard all the latest developments from the Exarch by now, or should have at least. When I think of how frantic Tataru and the others must be, I want nothing more than to rush back and reassure them. But we still haven't found a way to reverse the summoning. And even if we had, we couldn't just ignore Urianger's vision. He may use 10 words where one would suffice, and they may often obscure as much as they reveal.
Yeah, he totally does that.
But on this matter, he was as clear as day. I do not doubt for one moment that he saw what he claims. Nor how difficult it must have been to speak about them. The 8th Umbral Calamity and your death aren't exactly topics for idle conversation. As much as I might want to go home, I don't want to go home to that. We can't allow the rejoining to happen, which means we have to save the first from the Sin Eaters.
Yeah, that makes more sense than the Black Rose being the cause.
That great wall of white is a remnant of the Flood. 100 years ago, the balance in the First tipped decisively in favor of light. From that moment, it rose and swelled with each passing day. And then, without warning, it burst forth like water from a broken dam. A colossal wave of pure light, drowning everything in its wake. Only Norvrant was spared. For the most part, Living things are composed of ether of various different aspects, but when exposed to such a flood, their etheric harmony is shattered, and their natural form breaks down. Then they either perish, or are warped into mindless abominations.
That reminds me of another quest I'll try to remember to tell you afterwards.
Yes, that's how the Sin Eaters came to be. They were once living creatures, or people, that were caught in the path of the flood.
Interesting. I didn't see that coming.
Once the change is wrought, there is no going back. In that instant, they are gripped by an insatiable appetite for ether, and will happily gorge themselves on any living thing within reach.
I wonder if that's what that drunkard was turning into.
But even that is not the worst of it. The stronger Sin Eaters can plant light in us, like seeds in soil, corrupting our ether and triggering the birth of new monstrosities. They are creatures of base instinct that exist only to feed and to multiply. They feel no pity, know no remorse, and are utterly deaf to reason, which is why they must be destroyed. Every last one of them. The infirmary is full of the Sin Eaters' victims, left here to spend their final hours waiting for the change to overtake them.
Yep, that confirms it. And the interesting thing is, that quest I told you about, I believe that was a side quest, the drunkard. So I would have never known about foreshadowing of the change. This would have just been dropped on me. So that drunkard was turning into a Sin Eater. I should also add that the guy that I was talking to about it, the one he said he would give him the alcohol, he said that he has the situation under control. So I'm guessing that means he's either going to kill him after he has his drink, of course, or he's going to kill him after he transforms. I don't know, but he says he has it under control. Oh, right. Something else I wanted to mention is about this outfit I like is the necklace. I'm a sucker for silver jewelry like that. I don't wear, like, modern jewelry, I guess. Heavy gold, big old clocks, nothing like that. I don't wear that. I wear bone, fangs, like sharks, crocodiles, silver. So Squall's necklace here, I'm a big fan of. And of course I got one of my own. I mean, it makes sense from a logical perspective. Sure, let's go. Ditto. Oh, and for those of you who might be wondering, yes, I did dye the entire outfit jet black, even though the outfit is black naturally. I made it blacker than black. I love that move, blasting zone. I just want to see what this thing can do. big fireball. Oh, you know what? I'll show you when we get back to town, but there's some... I mean, I mentioned it, but I'll actually show it when we get back into... Well, I guess it needs to be a major town. I don't think it'll let me do it back at the inn. Well, when I get inside an inn, it'll let me. So, yeah, I guess I'll show you there. But my thing is, she said it like this entire place is the inn. So, kind of curious. Like, I don't think it's a traditional inn like the ones you see in Ul'dah or the Crystarium. Now do you see why I like to just keep it on 2 hotbars, even if that means using macros? And I'll talk about my macros later. Like maybe when I have nothing left to talk about to fill up the dead air. I got it, buddy. Oh, that must mean he has it too. Okay. Sure, I'll help you out. There we go. Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, maybe a little. See why Alice is kind of fun in her own little way. Give me 1 second. You guys probably heard that notification sound. I just got a message from a friend. I'm gonna let her know that I'm doing a stream right now, so I'll have to talk to her in a second. Or, you know, when it's over. All right. For a second, I thought his name was actually Trodden. Aw, child. Yeah, I know, I'm popular tonight, huh? Oh boy. So yeah, funny little thing. Funny little thing is the person who's texting me, usually when I want to talk to her, she's either not there or busy. And then when I'm doing my stream, I got 3 messages in a row. But you know, that's me. The ironic luck. The Ethonra luck, even. Oop. Didn't notice my phone turned off. 1 second. There we go. They're not doing so hot. I hope they're not, because I noticed that's kind of not a theme. It's not a theme yet, but I noticed they, like I said before in the last stream, a friend of mine mentioned how this expansion is darker, like there's going to be sadder elements. I really hope they're not doing the whole we're making things sad just to make it sad kind of thing. And that just reminded me, I was supposed to give you guys an example of something, and now I don't even remember what it was, or if I've already done it. Well, anyway, let me finish this thought before I forget it too. So what I mean is, you don't make something sad by writing some complex story like the Sin Eaters, for example, where they come from and the Flood of Light and all that. That's fine. What I mean is, when you make something sad just to be like, oh, we'll make it sad so they'll feel bad, is when you do things like you involve children needlessly. And I've noticed they've done that twice. Well, maybe not needlessly, but they've involved children twice. The first one was in that city where they're essentially going to kill her, let her be eaten by a Sin Eater nonetheless. And then in this one, the little boy, girl, I'm not sure what, I want to say boy by the name, but anywho, the little Ara child is turning into a Sin Eater that will, one way or another, be killed. So I hope they're not trying to do that to give it a sad angle. No, I had my full. What about plums? Well, your food did almost kill me, so you at least should give me something for free. Beats me. Oh, okay. Where did she go? Oh, right there. I'm used to seeing more black in the icon. The huge arrow kind of obscures it. Ah, dark bribes. They never fail.
Look, over there, where the wall is broken. Do you see what lies beyond?
Yeah, it looks like white water.
That's what the land became after the light flooded in. An empty white nothingness. Life cannot exist in such conditions. The primordial light would wreak havoc on the body's etheric balance. That nectarine you bought. It's Halric's favorite fruit.
Ah.
Most of the patients, Halric included, survived the attacks of powerful eaters. But their fate was sealed all the same.
That looks like a plum.
Corruption has entered their bodies, and their very essence is being subsumed by light.
Sorry, I'll stop. I usually don't talk during cutscenes.
The twisted state of the world itself just makes matters worse. Under normal circumstances, a person's ether naturally tends to equilibrium. But for these poor souls, the opposite is true. Sooner or later, every single one of them will turn. Tesleen and the patients, they all know this. They know what has to be done before the change goes too far, before the Eater within takes over. The preferred method is mixing poison into their favorite food. In my time here, I've borne witness to a lot of last meals. I feel just as helpless as before. No matter how hard I fight, it's never enough. But it's a war I mean to wage, nonetheless. Speaking of wars, do you remember how I made you promise not to leave me and then promptly collapsed?
Yes.
Well, let's just say I had a few choice words for the Exarch concerning the timing of his summons. But even if the fault lay with someone else, I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd abandon you on the battlefield. So I swore that I'd make up for my absence there by making a difference here. And that's what keeps me moving forward, even when things seem hopeless.
So for those of you who have not really known Alice, you're probably getting a feel for her now. She has this somewhat bad habit of shouldering the entire world. She does that a lot. Even in A Realm Reborn, she did it there. She's been doing it throughout the entire series.
On which note, it's time we headed back. The longer we keep Tesleen waiting, the harder this will be for her.
Don't worry, I'll keep the fruit nice and warm in my feather pockets. And yeah, see, the screaming I mentioned earlier. Yep, heavy, heavy stuff. I was just going over in my head all the things we've learned, and I would say the only new thing I learned, me personally, is that the people turn into Sin Eaters. I didn't make that connection when the guy told me the drunkard was turning. I didn't know what exactly he was talking about. So that means every Sin Eater was either a creature like a sand mole or a person like that drunkard. They're not just aspects of light ether like I originally thought they were. I thought the light just birthed them, but no. They were actually living creatures at one point. course. Oh, that sounds good right about now.
Speak up if you'd like another helping. I made a little bit more than usual today.
I promise it'll be the last time I say it, maybe. But yeah, her voice totally fits. It absolutely fits. And she's just an NPC. A lesser NPC, even.
And you've added something special to the broth, if I'm not mistaken.
Aye, well, it's not often we have visitors from the Crystarium, so I may have thrown in a few extra bits and bobs. That's what I like to hear. Give me a moment to warm up the pot.
Heck yeah. Better than that most meat or whatever the heck that bread was.
In a place like this, you learn to take what moments of happiness you can get. I remember when I first came here with my mother. She was showing the early signs. I knew there was no way to save her, but I just couldn't face what needed to be done. That's the way of it for most people. Why they travel from arms to stay here. Beaten, broken souls come to wait out the inevitable, to receive the mercy of a painless death. When my mother finally left this world, I was mad with grief, but also thankful that her passing was a peaceful one.
You guys see that?
It's never easy, ending a life you've cared for, even when you believe they go on to a better place.
Not to break up the seriousness, but that plum was twitching.
I often find myself wishing the Warrior of Darkness would come and do that part for me.
The Warrior of Darkness?
You've never heard the tale? I'm not sure where it began, but every child in Norvrent could tell you a version of it. Warrior of Darkness, servant of death, take care of our souls at our dying breath. Let sinners and eaters of sin go with thee, that all may return to the sunless sea. Well, that's the version I was taught anyway. It's just an old bedtime story. He's certainly never deigned to visit us here.
Which is a good thing, surely. He sounds rather ominous.
Do you think so? I always liked the idea that he treated every soul the same, even the Sin Eaters.
They're coming.
Desleen! Have you seen Halric? I swear, I only took my eyes off him for a moment.
If you're watching this, or will watch this, you're welcome. She knows who she is. Yeah, I was about to say, this one should have some unique dialogue. What do you mean you don't know? Isn't it obvious? Yeah, again, obvious. So yeah, my guess is that Halric, well, all of the patients really felt it, but him probably more so, are feeling the call of a greater Sin Eater, like the allure of one. Because Alice did mention earlier they kind of flock together to the strongest one. And Halric seemed to be one of the most furthest, or might be the furthest gone patient there. So the pull was probably more powerful to him than the others. While they only sensed the Sin Eaters, he actually heeded the call. But that's just my guess. We'll find out what actually happened. Oh, you're a Sin Eater too, huh? I don't think they're all going to have a Forgiven name in their name. I'm sure most will, but not all of them. Saint Screen. Huh. That's kind of interesting. I do think that Forgiven Cowardice has a better ring to it than Forgiven Folly. I guess because Forgiven Cowardice is more in your face than Forgiven Folly.
Any sign of him? No luck then. But he surely can't have gone far. We should keep looking. The Sin Eaters are out in force, and if we don't find him soon, you can be sure they will.
Oh no.
Did you see the size of that thing? It must be one of the nasty ones. Wherever it's going, it can only mean trouble. After it!
I believe this one is called Innocence, or some version of it anyway.
There it is! Is that... Oh no! Halric! We have to run! Tesling! No!
We all deserve happiness, wherever we can find it. The time left to you is precious. No one should die in pain. Mother, I... No!
Forgive me, please.
Woof. Again, heavy. So, from that scene alone, I got Twilight Princess flashbacks, some very heavy Resident Evil 6, and a touch of Silent Hill. Nah, that's okay. But you see what I mean? She shoulders the entire world all the time. So it's really not surprising that when something like this happens, she just kind of buckles. Well, you know what they say, the good die young. I would make a joke out of that, but I'm really not. She doesn't deserve that kind of treatment. Yeah, too bad he's a quest giver, otherwise I would have talked to him again. That is a very good question. Yeah, I guess I'll hoof it. Speaking of minions, I meant to bring this up earlier, but, you know. If you're wondering where Peppermint is, fear not, I left him with Tartaru. I'm sure she's taking great care of him, making sure he's not chewing on the chairs or anything like that. So, I guess this is worth talking about since we saw firsthand how Sin Eaters are made. So, I compared Sin Eaters to the Void Scent in my last video, which is what they're very clearly supposed to be. Void Scent, demons, Sin Eaters, essentially angels. So yeah, the way the Void Scent work, though, is different than the Sin Eaters. Interestingly enough, the way the Sin Eaters spread seem to be more vampiric. Like, you're a Sin Eater. If you're strong enough, you can turn other people into Sin Eaters. That's what vampires do. And werewolves, I guess. But most people would probably sooner draw the connection of vampires than werewolves. But nevertheless, Sin Eaters turn other people into Sin Eaters. The way the Void Scent appear, however, is... they require a host of some kind to appear. Like the Aramans, I think that's how you pronounce the name, the giant flying eyeballs. The catalyst for them appearing in the physical world are the eyes of animals. While things like the succubus, they use dead females as their host and then transform that host into what they are, succubi. So Void Scent needs some kind of host or catalyst to appear in the real world, while Sin Eaters, yeah, I know, I imagine that's pretty heavy. I'll lighten your load in just a second. But I imagine the Sin Eaters transform people by, well, we saw. This thing just distracted me, so we're going to kill it. Yeah, nice punch. My Lino E is greater. That was kind of fun. Ooh. I say now that is a ditch if I've ever seen one. I guess I'll help these guys out while they're here. They need a tank. I guess this is, well, nah, there's too much noise going on probably, so I'll just save it for later. But I'll explain my macros down there and there in just a second. Well, not a second. I say second a lot, but when I say second, I just mean a brief amount of time, not literally a second, unless I say literally a second. Nice backflip. Y'all saw that? And yeah, sorry for those of you who are watching. Feel free to go and get you a snack or something. Go to the bathroom. Because this fight's not going to get too much more exciting. It's a normal fate. It's not a super fate or a world fate. So there's nothing really interesting going to come out of it too much. I wish they hadn't needlessly stunned it. There you go. I love how everyone's flocked here. This is actually a pretty rare occurrence. You don't see this happening a lot in the game. I mean, you do. Sorry if I got loud there. For some reason, something made a really loud noise, and then it made me get loud. Anyway, you don't see this happening a lot in the game when it comes to fates, except when there's like events going on, or, you know, obviously the new expansion, so people are grinding fates. And I'm pretty sure that's what's going on here. Well, I mean, I stopped to help. I don't know what the other people are here for, but there we go. Bicolor gemstones. Now that's actually new. No, that's very interesting. I guess that is kind of the first fate I've done here, so I guess that makes sense. Well, that's cool. It gives people something to do. Ah, yes. So, my macros. So I guess I'll talk about this one. The one that I put on the D-pad, or the cross button. The very top, legendary taunt. That's obviously my provoke. And then for here, left side, square, triangle, and circle. Square, iron shell, triangle, imperil shell, and then circle, serrated shell. So, cool thing about this is to help the game feel more personal or custom. I like to put my macros in my hotbar, make things easier, take up less room. So as you probably noticed, serrated shell is no mercy and arm's length. That way I do more damage, and anyone who strikes my barrier, well, almost anyone who strikes my barrier, will get a slow debuff for 15 seconds, which is great. And then, of course, I have a chance to resist most forms of knockback, thanks to arm's length. Yep, that's always been her way. Yeah, she can be very assertive when she wants to be. A regular firecracker. You can learn a thing or two from my chocobo. Alright, cool. And what timing for that music. So it sounds like we're about to make some serious headway. Alright, so before we make any serious progress, if you'll excuse me, the grand total of one of my viewers, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a drink. All right, and I'm back. So, let's get it.
And so you return.
He's actually holding his staff now, for the first time, I believe.
Have you gained a better understanding of the crisis now faced by the First?
Better is not the word I would use. Some lands may have been spared the flood, but the survivors live only to suffer. There seems no end to the horrors inflicted by the Sin Eaters.
Indeed. Those abominations are a calamity in their own right. And I can well imagine how hopeless the task of eradicating them must seem to you. But after countless battles and untold sacrifice, we have identified a potential weakness. Sin Eaters are drawn to serve the strongest of their kind, a class of creature we call Light Wardens. And from what we have been able to ascertain, only a handful of these entities exist. Just as an ant colony will perish in the absence of its queen, we believe that the death of a Light Warden will cause the lesser creatures within its sphere of influence to disperse.
I have a feeling Yulmor might have something to say about any concerted action we take against these monsters. Vorthra's command over the Sin Eaters is integral to Yulmoran society. In seeming to guarantee his people's safety, it guarantees their obedience. He will not take kindly to us depriving him of such useful allies.
Agreed. Thus we will need to occupy or otherwise divert his forces whilst we proceed with the business of eliminating the Wardens. Until we have done so, all other considerations must be set aside if we are to forestall the 8th Umbral Calamity. Your uncertainty is understandable, given the circumstances. Perhaps a more detailed explanation is in order. To begin at the beginning, then.
To be honest, both those options were bad, because I do believe that will help, at least. And then the second option is not that hard to follow at all. His queen ant analogy was perfect. Ah, that's why you had your staff out.
In the ancient past, a single star was divided into 14 worlds. This is the source, your home. These others are the 13 shards, in whose number we find the first. Though physically separate, they retain a connection to each other, and with the source especially. Now, let us assume that a given element in one of the shards attains abnormal ascendancy. Just as water will flow from the highest point to the lowest, the excess energy will begin trickling into the source. And such an influx of ether will of course exert a palpable influence. If the element in question were fire, then drought and wildfires might ensue. If it were ice, one might expect the weather to turn bitterly cold. As ether continues to pour in, such phenomena will become more and more extreme, until eventually, a single, untimely event triggers a disaster which cracks the barrier dividing the two worlds. What was once a trickle now becomes a deluge, sweeping the shard along to be rejoined with the source. At the same time, the element which held sway in the shard is unleashed in full, its energies amplifying the original disaster to truly catastrophic proportions. An earthquake thus magnified might strike with enough force to shatter continents. A tidal wave might swell to a size capable of drowning entire nations. These devastating events are what we refer to as umbral calamities. 7 times has a calamity befallen the source. 7 times has a shard been absorbed.
This is all very fascinating, by the way, for those who know the lore of what he's talking about.
At present, the light-drowned realm of the First stands perilously close to meeting the conditions for a rejoining. It is the Sin Eaters who are to blame for the Light's continued dominance. In addition to attracting their lesser kin, the Light Wardens I mentioned earlier radiate ether, saturating every corner of their territory with light. Even here in the flood-spared region of Norvrant, their influence is strong enough to banish night from the sky. Thus, if we are to restore balance to the First and head off a potential calamity, it is imperative that we put each and every Light Warden to the sword.
A gunblade, even?
We've been doing our best to take the fight to the enemy ever since we first heard the Exarch's explanation.
Though we have yet to claim any meaningful victories if truth be told. Apart from being confoundingly elusive, the Light Wardens possess a troublesome quality which compelled us to delay our plans until such time as you arrived.
Forgive the interruption, my lord, but Hallminster Switch is requesting reinforcements. They say the Sin Eaters are attacking in force, and the village could soon be overrun.
Alert the guard. We should be prepared in case the fighting reaches the Crystarium. You have command of our forces in the field, Captain, but hold off on entering the town until I arrive. That goes for Alphino and Alize as well.
My lord.
Pray, lend us your strength. Such a fight will provide you with far greater insight than any explanation I could offer.
Yeah, so that actually reminded me of something else I was going to mention. Sooner or later, I'm going to get a dungeon. Actually, before I forget, let me show you the other thing I was talking about. Oh, can't do it here. So yeah, sooner or later, I'm going to have to run dungeons. And originally, I was just going to run with randoms and hope for the best. But my FC is really cool. And I've seen a lot of people being like, hey, I'm about to run, etc. dungeon. Anyone wants to come along? And they do. So I figure I'll just do that. My FC, I don't have to worry about them being trolls, at least. They are pretty cool. But that doesn't mean they'll understand my tanking style. So that in itself is kind of a problem. I think, yeah, I should be able to do it here. Yeah. I meant to put it on 15, but of course I put it on 14. But yeah, this is Noctis's outfit completely. I just dyed a different color. And if you look at the shoes, they actually, I don't know when they did it, but they actually turned down the red like they should have been done, because it was far, far too red before. It was like redder than my hair, clown red. You could see it in one of my videos I made, but they're perfect now. They look the way they absolutely should. And you know, since I'm already wearing it, I guess I'll keep it on. I've never seen that before. That just shows this game is growing more and more every day. Oh, I don't remember these things here. Might take a little side trip here. Do you see what I see? I guess the real question is, can I even get to it? Oh, there I go, overshooting it again. Contrary to what people might think, Lalafels have really strong legs, so we're pretty good jumpers. Now, what was that aether current? I drove by right here, so I thought it'd be on this side. Oh, wait, I know what to do. Seems unnecessary, but, you know, I'm here. Ah, there it is. I'd like for y'all to notice how it's not letting me jump on that ledge. Let me try from over here. There we go. Perfect. Oh, I thought they were going to be the chocobo, or I forgot the name of the beast. Never bothered to pronounce it. Okie doke. Now to go save that village. I'm really glad they gave people a reason to do Fates now. Okay, now onward to the village. Huh. Not far ahead, you say? Seems like a pretty good hop and a skip from here. I'm guessing that's a hunt. Yep, B rank. Nah, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. Well, you know what that means. Malfoy? Hey, look, it's a little gremlin. I actually will fight it. I'm curious if it'll insult me. Nope. That I didn't give it a chance to. But yeah, the gremlins, they can give you a unique debuff called Misery. And what it does is, I think it increases all damage that you take, physical and magic. And the only way to get rid of it is to, well, there's two versions. One, you can Asuna, but the more common one, you can't. And the only way you can get rid of it would be to, is to use the comfort emote on somebody. You have to be like right next to them, pretty close. And use the comfort emote on them when they have misery, and it'll actually get rid of it. Yeah, maybe it was a slightly bad idea since you're on your knee. Well, it's a good thing I found me something to do in my spare time now, because I'm definitely grinding fates for those gems, rainbow crystals, whatever they were. I know. I really should have paid more attention, but you all know what I'm... Where is she? There she is. Anyway, yeah, this thing right here, if you kill it, it'll give you a buff called Twisted Fate, rather. And what it does is it increases the EXP you get from the next fate that you run. Well, after you complete this fate or if the fate expires, as long as you participated, essentially. Yeah, I see you over there with that squall outfit and keyblade, or gunblade rather. I'm still thinking of the lack of keychain, I guess. There you go. And someone leveled up even. So the next time a Fate is nearby, I'll probably switch to my Red Mage and deal with it. Or maybe my Paladin. It depends on if there's a tank nearby or not. Probably. So something I've been meaning to talk about Alphino's outfit. I noticed in the last one, but I didn't comment on it. I like that he has armor on one side, but not too much on the other. I like asymmetry when it's done correctly, and this is done correctly. Matter of fact, he kind of has that going on now that I think about it. I mean, again, I've been noticed, I just didn't comment on it. But yeah, he has the asymmetrical look going down pretty good too. Ha! I get it. Oh man, these things are like germs. I take back what I said about vampires. They're more like viruses. I'm still kind of concerned about the whole if you kill it, you become it problem. And yep, just as predicted. Wait. Oh, wait a minute. Is this the trust system? It is. Oh, okay. That's interesting. I might do the trust system, one, to show it off, and two, to get a feel of what the dungeon is like. Yeah, that's really cool. So I'm guessing you're the tank, you're the healer, and you're the 2 DPS. Well, actually, no. You're a healer, too. Oh, duh. You're the DPS. I forgot for a second she has the dancer weapons. Huh. A lot of big words there, buddy. Okay, Leto, you're kind of in the man's personal bubble. Yep, that's perfect. Huh, all-rounder, nice. I'm tempted to take him in. You know what? Add or remove.
Very well.
Ah, nice. I'm very curious to see how he's going to fight. Alright, let's do it. Let's see how the trust system works. And my phone's about to die. So, hopefully, well, that sounds mean again, but you know, no one really talks in my streams unless they're a personal friend of mine, so I guess it's not that big of a deal. I'm already loving this thing. Hey, I saw that. It's you. Lots of cocoons. Oh, he has a white one this time. I don't remember if it was always white. The last one I remember him having was black. Yeah, that went as well as expected. Forgiven conceit. Okay, I like that one even better than forgiven cowardice. Savage swipe. No, nothing holy sounding in that. Also, forgive me if I take this dungeon kind of slow. Again, I am running with the trust system. I want to see how good it is. And I want to learn this dungeon, so inevitably, when I do run it with people, I can just speed right through it. But yeah, this works for my stream, though. I don't have to worry about anyone doing anything stupid. Forgiven clamor. Okay. And those are demon dogs. I recognize those faces anywhere. I need to pay attention. I was watching the Crystal Exarch to see exactly how he was fighting. I figured it'd be Black Mage, but he mentioned being able to wield a sword and shield or something, and that caught my interest. So I thought maybe he would have been a Red Mage or some kind of Paladin Black Mage hybrid. Which I guess, no, I was gonna say I guess that's kind of a Red Mage, but it really isn't. A Paladin Black Mage hybrid would be pretty sick. I think that'd be I think there is a class like that in Final Fantasy, but I can't remember what they're called. What is it? Like, they have an attack called Spell Sword, but I don't remember what the job class is called. Mystic Knight? I don't know. Yeah, I don't remember. Ruin Knight. Ruin is on the tip of my tongue. It's something like that, though. Ruin Knight? I don't know. Sinkweaver probably knows what I'm talking about. Not that he'll ever see this. Oh, for those of you who don't know, Sinkweaver is a really cool YouTuber. He does a lot of Final Fantasy XIV stuff. You should check him out. Yeah, that was stupid. I shouldn't have used Serrated Shell there. Woof. Okay, I'm gonna have to remember to stun. I mean, I didn't think it'd be that big of a deal, but that nearly one-shotted Alice. I would do my first Shadowbringers dungeon dressed as Noctis, wouldn't I? See, now this would have been a good chance to use Serrated Shell. but thankfully I think their AoEs will be faced towards me. Yeah, so I don't think I have to worry about them cleaving the party. So I guess while I'm here, I should mention my tanking style. I prefer to go slow and steady. Like, if I know the dungeon and we can speed run it, I will. I'm not afraid to speed run. Don't ever think I am. It's just, I'd rather do a dungeon slow and steady and get it done the first time than try to speed run it and end up getting killed 75 times and then only finishing like 11 seconds faster. Or rather, two separate instances. Obviously, if you get killed a lot, it'd take you longer than if you had just done it slow and steady. And when I say slow and steady, I don't mean every single mob individually. I will pull some mobs together. Like I could have pulled these two and these two together if I knew they were back here. So, you know, slow and steady, but not too slow. There's that. And when it comes, well, I guess I'll mention that when we get there. No, I'll do it here. When we get to a boss room, what I do is I walk beyond the purple line and I wait for my party to walk beyond the purple line. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but for the most part, they all will step through the purple line, and that's my signal that, okay, they're ready to go. Why else will they step into the boss room? So there's that. And for some reason, people like to step in front of the tank. I don't know if it's because they want to get the first hit off or what, but it's like, it's not that big of a deal. You do more damage trying to get the first hit than you would if you just let me do my job. You'll get your hit in. I promise you will. You don't have to be the first one there and end up aggroing something. And the reason that's a big deal to me is because not many times, but enough to notice when I cross, say for example, this is the boss room right here, these purple leaves. I'll walk to about right here. The boss is that rock right in front of me, and someone will walk like right up here, aggro the boss, and then guess what? Our healer went AFK without telling nobody. I've been in that situation more than once. That's why I wait. That's why I go slow and steady. So with that rant out of the way, now you kind of know how my tanking style works. I get back here. I almost forgot about that one. Yeah, Vein Sever. I put Demon Slice and Demon Slaughter together. Since they're both AoEs and both combo attacks, it makes it a lot easier on my fingers than putting it all over the place. It makes my hotbars much neater. So, you know, it's good. Oh, I got Fated Circle here. Nice. I didn't know that. There's also a good chance to use Serrated Shell. See, look at all those slows. Look at that. It's a great macro. I'm really proud of it. And yes, all of these are original. I got them from my own little imagination. I told you I have an active imagination. It's just I don't have a very good way of expressing it because I'm not an artist in any capacity. I mean, heck, I only do YouTube as a hobby, and I'm not even good at that. But I still like it. My friends more or less enjoy it. It's not hurting nobody, so why not? Sorry, I haven't been playing effectively. I've been, you know, kind of distracted thinking of what to say. And here we go. First boss. Oh, that's nice. It's you. Good. Oh, that's cool. They even have comments on it. So if I didn't bring those two in there, they obviously wouldn't be here to say that. Forgiven Dissonance. Okay, so either this isn't Innocence or it's some different version of it, since, you know, there's more than... Didn't mean to stun that. Meant to do that, because I'm pretty sure... Woof. Okay, I was gonna say I thought it was a tank buster, but it's not. Yeah, man, that's the... What's that attack I hate? Thumbscrew. No, not that. It was, oh crap. Wooden Horse. Oh, I know that. That's a Trojan reference right there. So, very dangerous AoEs. Got it.
Let's give them a show.
Are you just gonna like randomly limit break? Yep, you definitely are. I mean, that's fine with me. I don't have to worry about it. You know what? I'm such an idiot. I forgot. I'm so used to not limit breaking as a tank, I actually don't have it on my hotbar. So if there was any instance where I would have actually needed it, I wouldn't be able to. Okay, let me see what pattern these things go in. Oh, okay, you just react, because there's no way that you can predict that. Oh, for a second I thought someone fainted when I heard that noise. Okay, so that's your tank buster. Got it. And yeah, they obviously, being CPUs, know exactly where to stand before things go down. Yeah, see? Oh, I'm about to get messed up. Alright, I'm gonna have to remember to sprint for this fight when I do it with people. I knew that attack was coming. I could just feel it. But yeah, as I was saying, there's multiple versions of different Sin Eaters, so it wouldn't be that hard to believe that this is just a lesser version of Innocence, or again, that might have just been something the community thought it was called that, and in actuality, this is that same creature. Though, yeah, I know we saw the one destroyed in the trailer, but you gotta remember, it's different in the trailers than it is here. Also, let me talk about that. I nearly forgot. So, allegedly, there's been talk about a Final Fantasy XIV TV show being started. Oh, Alice. Just shut her brother down immediately. Oh, yeah, I guess I do get all the gear, huh? So yeah, so there was talk of a show being started, and I'm honestly not in favor of it. Wow. Because time and time again it's been proven that people usually... Why aren't they attacking the gremlin? That's weird. They completely left it alone. They didn't try to convert it. Okay. Oh, you give me slow now. Alright, you don't give misery. I would argue that's worse. Thank you. I was wondering if they'd actually be able to remove it. Futile. All you do is in vain. Yeah, it would make more sense for it to give me misery. Because that's what it does. It insults you and then it gives you like the misery debuff, and it's like a kind of like a silhouette of a dude, but you can see that he's crying. It's actually kind of funny looking. Not ha he's crying funny, but it's funny how it fits. It's called misery and has a dude crying in it. Kind of like the abandonment debuff that you get in the World of Darkness when you fight Cerberus. It shows this dude just like sitting in a fetal position in a corner. No one will save you. Unbeknownst to you, there's like 3 people directly behind you. Okay, sure, whatever you say. Yeah, that's enough out of you, chatterbox. Forgiven Deceit. That's another pretty good one, but Forgiven Contempt is still my favorite. Oh, I see you down there, Yak. I'll deal with you in a second. A country second, even. Also, I nearly forgot about this. another part of my tanking style is I go for the biggest threat first, and I don't mean biggest in literally the biggest, because if that was the case, then that'd obviously be the bird here. But when I say biggest, I mean usually ones that have AoEs. Like, I don't know for sure, but let's say, for example, this bird has AoEs. If it has, it has AoEs period, then I would be trying to kill it first, and hopefully my party would too, because I would mark it with a 1 to be like, hey, kill this first. So yeah, if it has AoEs at all, I'll go for it first. But if there's multiple ones with AoEs, then I judge by the AoEs they use. If they have circle AoEs, those are priorities over line AoEs. So if you have a circle AoE, you are top priority. Line AoEs are directly behind that. Because cone AoEs are not that dangerous unless they're massive. Like this is one two-headed boss that you fight. Forgiven Disobedience. Okay, that's a pretty good one too. I'm kind of digging these Sin Eater names. Oh man, those eyes. Anyway, yeah, your slow has no effect on me. Or, well, it kind of did, but only for like no more. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and pop this. See how you like being slow. For 15 seconds. So yeah, unless it's a massive cone AoE, like there's this one two-headed mercenary boss you fight in the Wandering Palace hard mode, who has a gigantic cone AoE, but I mean, it's the boss. You have little choice but to fight it, so he doesn't really count. So yeah, but line AoEs can usually cross like entire rooms. So circle AoEs, line AoEs, and then cones. And aw, there's a dead person right there. That's kind of sad. There we go. Oh man, more people. So not everyone made it, sadly. If only that was for tanking. Because the necklace, well, you can't see it because of this outfit, but the necklace I had picked, see, he has a line AoE, so he has one. This thing dies first. Or at least he would if I had an actual party of people here. But these guys are pretty competent, so I don't mind it too much. Oh, let me go and say that. There's also some examples where even if an enemy has an AoE, you actually don't want to kill them first because the smaller ads are actually like attacking faster, doing more damage even in some cases. Like in the Wanderer's Palace, the normal one, there's Tonberries and there's skeletons. The skeletons have this undodgeable, invisible even, close range AoE that leeches some of your health, while the Tonberries just prefer to stab you in the throat. So then by that logic, you might think, well, invisible AoEs that steal health sounds pretty gnarly. You might want to kill those first. But you're wrong, because even though it's undodgeable, it doesn't do a lot of damage, so they're not healed by a lot. And the Tonberries far exceed in damage than the skeletons do. So in situations like that, you actually don't want to kill. Oh man, please tell me that's not who I think it is. It is. Oh man, things are about to get sad. Oh, opening with a limit break. Okay. I actually like that. That's another thing I would have people do when we're in like raids or something. The tickler. Okay. That didn't really tickle. Scold's bridle. Okay, AoE. What the heck is that? Oh, I think I know what that is. Let me see if I'm right. Yep, it's kind of like Ravana's Swift Slaughter attack. Okay. What else you got? Exercise. And of course they don't mean like a workout. They mean like the horror movie. Oh, get out of that. Okay, let me pull it back to them so they don't... Yeah. Wait. Why is she being mauled to death? What's going on there? Like, I still had aggro, but for some reason she just kept attacking Alice. Where you guys going? Okay, let me watch again to see if she just decides to maul somebody. Yeah, she's just straight up attacking Alice. I'm sure there's a way I can stop that, but I have no idea how. By the way, I just noticed I might have been saying that name wrong. I think it said the Tickler, not the Tickler. Speaking of saying things wrong, well, hold on. Let's see what happens when we defeat her. Not even any final words. I guess that makes sense. She was already fading away when she flew. But yeah, now you see what I mean about Alice's character. So, I mentioned earlier, I just breathed on them. Forgiven Enmity. Okay, that's another pretty good one. So I'm guessing the Enmity has AoEs here. Yeah, that's a big circle AoE, so yeah, he will be priority. And what do you know, the CPU and I are actually on the same page. I don't know if it's because they just know or if I got lucky. Yeah, what the heck. Another thing about the Vein Slever macro is it actually gives my hand a chance to rest, so my hand doesn't start cramping up. Oh, right, record. So I mentioned it way back when in this video about beating a record. I was talking about recording. I think the Shadowbringers one might have been my longest recording, maybe. The only ones that might be longer are my Final Fantasy 15 videos where I'm doing the super dungeons. I'll have to actually check. But even then, I at least had company more times than I do this, but this is still relatively new, so. But yeah, and I'm guessing I could grab those cocoons, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. Let me try to attack their target. There it is. So we can get out of this just a little faster. But yeah, so unless I'm mistaken, the Shadowbringers part 1 might have been the longest time I've ever done talking to myself. A little over 4 hours. I was hoping for 5. I really thought it'd be 5 hours. It felt like 5, but nope, about 4 hours, 30 minutes or something like that. Oh yeah, that's something else too. It'd be a little harder to do now that I have them on different hotbars, but I used to weave in, well I guess I could kind of show you in like 18 seconds what I'm talking about. But since I can't use my continuation ability, another little trick that I would do I would weave in Rough Divide during my Wicked Talon combo. Alright, they're attacking this one. Let me see if I can show you. Like I said, it's going to be kind of awkward because they're on different pads, but it's kind of like that. Yeah, that was it. So that's what I would do before I got continuation. And I guess I could do it here, it just would take a little bit more effort. Plus I use up my Rough Divides where I might actually need them later, which is why you don't see me using them a lot. Plus I forget I have them. I'm so used to not having a gap closer as a paladin. And yes, I am aware they have one now. Okay, man, it's only some small mobs. You don't really need to. We do have a limit break, though. I'm curious when they're going to use it. Like, is it going to be random again, or they're going to use it on this primary target, or are they going to use it on the boss that we run into? I'm curious. Speaking of limit break, I meant to put that on my hotbar, but I forgot again. I'll try to remember to do it after this fight, because I definitely should have it. Because that's the only reason why I have, like, the Phoenix down right there. Just so it'll take up... Oh, I didn't mean to walk back into that. Just so it won't take up space. I was looking at my hotbar, so I didn't see it. But yeah, that's the only reason why I have it there, because I don't like having spaces in my hotbars. And yeah, I could fill it with something else. But then that would kind of ruin the point of me having a macro. I put them together for very specific reasons. So yeah, I'll put my... let's see, what can I put over there? Oh, I know. I'll just do it now since it really won't be that big of a deal. There we go. Because I really should have this on my hotbar list. Even if I almost never use it, I should still have it. There we go. I like putting my hotbar like on that key right there. Hopefully I don't accidentally use it, because the tank's hotbars are, limit breaks are immediate. Like as soon as you press the button, it happens. Or at least their level 1 does. I'm not sure about their level 2 or 3 because I rarely use them. That is a good question. Why is this happening? I guess we're about to find out. So if I did Alisaie's quests, no, I'm pretty sure I would have to get Alisaie and Alphino together to do the dungeon. It just felt like she was the catalyst, because you saw everything that went down with hers. Now this should be an interesting fight. Philia. Okay, my provoke. I'm not comfortable where my provoke is, but I guess I will leave it there because I rarely need it. Not to sound like I'm bragging, but I'll probably find it a better space. Well, this one can actually make noises, so they're not mute, like someone said they were earlier. Scavenger's daughter, is that what that said? Oop. No, I bet I know what that is. Yeah. Oh, and that's obvious. I know what that is. Oh, wait, there's two of them. Didn't see that one in the center. Oh, okay. Interesting. And I'm guessing this is a break the chains deal. Yep. Just like the Jester and Emperor's King's hard mode, or the fight against, well, I almost spoiled it. Let me not say that. That's a main character I almost said, but there's another fight that happens in the game that's similar to that. Woof. This is a really cool boss. The music hasn't really won me over like Stormbloods did immediately, but it is appropriate. I'll admit that. It's appropriate at least. Oh. I'm going to spread out just in case these drop lasting AoEs. Nope, just earthquakes. Ah, nice. I managed to get it off. You would. Oh, this is an interesting one. But yeah, see, the music is appropriate. It's just, I like Stormbloods just a little better. Oh crap. I almost walked right into that. Nice.
There'll be nothing left of you but a smoking crater.
Who said that? Because that didn't sound like, well, I'm pretty sure it showed in the dialogue, but that didn't sound like Alice. You know what? This music actually is starting to win me over. When I hear that part that just passed, when I hear that, yeah. Again, still like Stormblood's better, but I'm definitely feeling this track now. I mean, Storm, I almost said Stormbringers. Stormblood's track, it just gets you so hyped, or at least it does for me. Even though I've heard it like a million times, I never get tired of hearing it. And I actually have videos of it, as a matter of fact. If you watch my video called Super Paladin, I believe that's the one where I'm the last one standing. And I'm able to finish off the Mist Dragon, which you know is not an easy fight, especially if you're new. But I was able to finish it. At least I think that's when I was the last one standing. But regardless of that, the music just gets you so hyped to just keep fighting, just keep going, even if it looks bleak, just keep fighting. It's a great track. We should probably do something before it explodes. Yeah, I know. That thing must have been a person at some point. I wonder if it was a Well, Huh. Well, if I have a do my paladin, at least he'll start off with some good gear. Oh, I know who she's talking about. Yeah. Also, anyone else curious as to why this thing was chained up? Because those chains weren't there just for show. I guess they kind of were. He didn't, or it rather, didn't attack us with them. But they clearly had hooks on the end, so it was chained to something else. I think that's a pretty interesting detail.
It's releasing its ether! Fall back! We cannot let it touch us! Quickly, my lord, we must withdraw!
That will not be necessary, Captain. Though I appreciate your concern. The eternal light of these creatures has confounded us for nigh on 100 years. For each we have put down, another has risen up in its place, born of the self-same ether relinquished by its predecessor. But now we have a way to contain that corruption.
Why do I feel like you're looking at me, even if I'm not facing you?
The blessing of light.
I was about to say.
And the hero who wields it now stands before you.
I was just about to say that. I should have been faster. But yeah, I figured that is why. It's kind of like how we can resist primals. Well, actually, there's a deeper reason why we can do that, but still. Also, I like how it has to do with light, and I just so happen to be wearing Noctis's outfit. Yeah, I feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Oh, that's a good screenshot.
Behold, the monster's power is broken, and the world, twisted by its touch, returns to its rightful form.
Wow, nighttime. I can scarce believe it. Just making it night feels like we're in a different world now. You have any idea how big of a deal this is for people? Like, just to see the night sky? It literally has not been visible for 100 years. Can you imagine?
What's happening?
Someone sounds worried.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
The sunless sea.
I'm glad my boy Morn gets to see it.
The warrior of darkness has come.
Is that what I think it is?
The night sky.
As it should be.
Again, Noctis outfit. Very ironic. I swear I didn't do this on purpose. I'm new too.
Who are you people? You killed a warden, then bathed in its ether as if it were a spring shower, and now the sky? The legends are true.
The prophecy is true.
My lord?
How many years have I waited for this moment? For the one possessed of her blessing. For you. You have vanquished the Light Warden of Lakeland, and for the first time in a century, darkness has returned to the mantle of night. Without the ever-present light to sustain them, the Sin Eaters will have no choice but to retreat. Yet our victory is far from complete. Though darkness has fallen here, the other wardens yet bask beneath burning skies, feasting upon what little life remains. Even should it cost me all I have, I would see each and every one of them slain, that this world might be spared from oblivion. Not only for the first, but for the source as well. Save one, and we save the other. But, be that as it may, I concede it was wrong of me to summon you to this fight against your will. I swear, on my life, I will one day atone for that deed, but for the present, I beg you stay and see this fight to its conclusion. Cast down the wardens, and restore darkness to the first.
Hey. That's pretty somber. I'm going with that one.
On behalf of the first, I offer you my deepest thanks.
I understand there is much at stake here, Exarch, but why do you risk yourself so readily? It must have been a dangerous drain on your ether to summon even one person across the rift.
I do it for my people, of course. To give the Crystarium the tomorrow it deserves.
That is true now, yes, but the city had yet to be built when you first called forth the Crystal Tower. I'm simply curious to know what prompted you to commit yourself so completely to this particular course.
There are things which we can ill afford to lose. And I sensed from the first that I had a part to play in preserving them. Forgive me. I fear the events of the day may have taken their toll. Despite appearances, I am an old man. One burdened with many difficult memories, some too painful to recall.
Well then, I'm sorry for pressing you. It's a family failing, I'm afraid.
Yeah, again, assertive.
One which has served us well more often than not. Needless to say, we will continue to fight at your side until the last Sin Eater is defeated.
Come then, my warriors of darkness. Let us gather the surviving villagers and make our way back to the Crystarium.
Also, does the Crystal Exarch look slightly different? His face? I might be imagining it, because, I mean, he has a hood. But his face looked a little different there. And also, maybe I was wrong. The Sin Eater, known as Innocence, might have actually been that very same thing we killed. And, because compared to what a Warden looks like, yeah. No, they're freaking out. It's okay, it's only the night sky. Yeah, really. Just the urge. It just so happens to be 4 in the morning, too. For them, I mean. Trust parties unlocked. Sweet. I probably will just use those throughout the rest of the expansion. I think I will do that. See if they say anything different. Nah. Come on, Leto, give the man his space. Yeah, that's actually a good point. I'm very curious what happens now with that creature. That's cool. I'd rather work in the shadows anyway. Yeah. See, he even commented about that. Like, yeah, it would be pretty hard to sleep when it's bright as day outside, even if you are tired. Huh. But yeah, Alice is more of a, not completely, but she does have more of a lone wolf kind of mentality. Not all the time, but she definitely did at the start. And yeah, probably should have gone without saying, but you see my Twisted Fate buff is gone because I went to that dungeon. So I'll help them out with this real quick and then we'll be on our way. I see a Moogle just chilling. Oh, that's interesting. It has the yellow pom-pom like it's a wind-up Moogle, but I'm not seeing the text above its head. And it's not moving. Because I noticed Moogles in this world have blue pom-poms. I think that gave enough time for the Exarch to make it back to the Crystarium, don't you? But speaking of which, there is a slight diversion I want to make. Getting hungry too. So, yeah, never mind that diversion I was talking about. We'll just go straight to Braggy. I say straight to him, but still not quite 100% used to this place. There we go. No, he has facial hair. I didn't think that was possible. I mean, I guess it is noticeable, but you're so distracted by all the other features. But they actually grow mustaches. How about that? You know, I kind of hate that it is daytime right now because their dialogue does not match up. Because if you didn't know any better, you'd think it was, well, you know. Then again, it could just be the ceiling, but still. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't question me about... Oh, well, never mind. I guess we did shoot him down. And yeah, apparently not all of them use axes. Again, I forgot about her dancer weapons. Chakrams? I think that's what they would be called. Oh, starting to get dizzy. Must be from my lack of eating, too. Oh. Hey, look, there's a dwarf. Ah, stop talking about food. Nah, you see I'm strapped. Yeah, you don't say. Yeah, praise the blessed shadow. I like their unique dialogue because of their disdain for the light. Cardinal virtues? Huh. You're really going in deep with this. Deep gasp. I think I know where this is going. Reek. That's actually a funny last name. I'll tell you a little story afterwards. I'm going to save my complaint for that in just a second. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. So, this bothers me, because if you remember a couple hours ago, I mentioned how I like when people, or anything, gives you more options than not. The fact that they're making you be a specific role, not a fan. Not a fan at all. Like, let me, it's too bad too, because I would have rolled with the Lalafell, but screw him, I guess. I knew it. That picture alone says everything. I knew it. As soon as they mentioned that they bear resemblance to the people who caused the flood, I was like, no way. Yeah, I can barely see it in his picture, but you guys can't see it, but my mouth was like agape for a second. I think I know who these people are. Yeah, it's totally them. This almost encourages me to want to do all of them, but I don't know. It is, man. Wow. That is heavy. The Warriors of Light. See, because I actually had a theory about this in the last video. Oh, that's awesome. So that theory came true then. When the light enveloped everything, they weren't spared. They weren't spared at all. They became essentially wardens themselves, if not more powerful. Yeah, we're doing this first. The main quest is going to wait. Like you wouldn't believe. Interesting thing there. I didn't think it was possible to turn into a Sin Eater once you died. But yeah, that's right. They allegedly sacrificed themselves first. Then the flood happened, I guess. But, okay, I mean, if he says it's possible, I guess it's possible. Because it is him. Sinner is a compliment here. How about that? I mean, here's the world in general, because someone else called me a sinner before. Alright, let's see what this is like. I'm kind of hyped for it, because it is totally them. And I never thought I'd see them again, especially when, crap, Ardbird? I think that's the name, Ardbird, A-R-D-B-E-R-T. Anyway, the literal Warrior of Light, in his world anyway, he said they're died. He said it like they were gone forever, but clearly that's not the case. How does he not know about this? Oh, I'm going the wrong direction. I was drawn to it like a moth to a flame. Something about Lakeland. Yeah, see, I'm glad I grabbed that, oh no, not the Crystarium. I'm glad I grabbed that, warp point when I was there. Which is why you should always make it a point to get them. So, my plan is I'm going to do this. Hopefully it won't take too long. Hopefully it'll be entertaining, even more importantly. Then I'm going to turn in the main quest. And then I might end the stream. It depends on how much hype I got left. Because, I'm really in the mood to keep going. Yeah, and in this description it said it adopted the guise. So is it really him, or is it just assumed his form? Considering how deep they're trying to make this expansion, how sad even, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it is him. Just turned into a Sin Eater. How did they do that out of a corpse? I don't know, but apparently they found a way. Oh, easy there, Regalia. Yeah, and then of course he says it like there's still people in there, and who knows, maybe there are. Nevertheless, they have to be put down. Can't help but feel I'm forgetting something. Well, I guess one is this, but something else too. Like, there might have been a topic I was talking about and Ben dropped it, I guess, because I don't remember. Hey, cool. Yeah, I have a little parkouring skill. This is another thing to keep in mind. When you have things like this, sometimes the NPCs will actually just be out. So some other dialogue you would otherwise miss if you just go straight to the point. Yeah, I understand. Trust me, Frey, quotation marks there, put me through worse. Not forgiven ignorance. That's not as good as forgiven conceit, but it's at least funny. They're hardly worth using this on, but alright. I like how the tree turned around when I did blasting zone. It's like, what was that? Nope. So gotta say, I'm really loving this expansion. I would say I do like it more than Storm's Blood, but that's not putting down Storm's Blood at all, like everyone else seems to do. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The music especially. And some of the lore. That's one of the things I was talking about, yeah. So the echo, the original thought process was that it allows you to resist you, the Warrior of Light, in this case me, to resist the influence of primals, aka they can't turn us into their mindless slave. But turns out the echo is deeper than that. As the story progressed, you get bits and pieces of what the echo is, and Xenos brought it out the most of what the echo can actually do. But I'll get to that in a second, where we seem to be able to do this. But the reason we're able to resist primals isn't just a straight up, oh, you can resist primals, like you belong to Hydaelyn, I'm trying to take you, I can't because you're already owned, so you resist the primals. That's not it at all. Funny thing, I actually have used that Dark Knight sword back when I was a Dark Knight just because I like the way it looked. Like, it's basic, but it's a good kind of basic. So yeah, it's not just, oh, you belong to someone and I can't take you. It's deeper than that. As you progress, you see that the Sahuagin, I believe that's how it's pronounced, the fish people, one of their leaders had gotten a power similar to the Echo, and when he was shot dead, he was able to transfer his spirit into a new body and mold it into his own. So it was like he never died. So that was another hint of what the Echo can do. And that was in A Realm Reborn, I believe. Like the Maelstrom, like when Leviathan was the new primal. I believe that's when that happened. So not even Heaven's Word. And then for the longest time, you don't really hear too much about the Echo until Stormblood, where Xenos is doing research into it. And he gains the powers similar to having the Echo, which is the reason you can resist primals isn't because you belong to Hydaelyn, is because your will is stronger than theirs. And he proves that by, well, spoiler alerts, obviously, but he proves that point by possessing Shinryu. That's what the Echo can do. You can use it to enslave primals. The man with too many scars. Yeah, you say that, but I don't think he only had like one, didn't he? And yes, I know they mean more like psychological or emotional, but I just thought with a name like that, they would have given him like the X-shaped scar. I believe that's possible with them. Or at least Makoto's it is. Makote, cat people. Cat men, boys specifically. I know they can do it. What the hell? Huh, so someone I haven't talked to in what feels like years actually just messaged me out of the blue. Something's wrong. So if I need to shut down the stream, that's why. But anywho, yeah, I thought he would have more scars on his face to go with the title. I know they mean more of an emotional, inside kind of scar. Since it mentioned he's out for revenge, meaning this particular Sin Eater probably killed his partner or his best friend or lover or something. Someone near and dear to him, clearly. Begrudgingly, I probably will do all of these. Maybe not in a stream. Maybe I'll make them separate videos. But yeah, man, I just hate being forced to do it. They would have been fine just as side quests. But I actually do know why. Believe it or not, it's so that you'd spend more money. You see, the way it... Oh, hold on. YouTube. I forgot to bring YouTube back up on my phone. You see, the way it works is, and a lot of games do this, basically all of them do, but especially pay-to-play games. What they do is, the longer you take to do something, the more money you're going to pay. If it took you a month, back when relic weapons were the hotness, if it took you a month to get a relic weapon, okay, cool. But what if it took you 2? Or 3? Or 4? You see what I'm getting at? The longer you take to do something, the more money you end up paying. So obviously, if they want you to do all these quests that require different jobs, they go on the assumption, And they're right, because there's no way you're going to have a level 80 as soon as Shadowbringers starts. You're going to have to grind up at least 3 classes up to level 80 so that you, well, yeah, I'm assuming this is at level 80. I didn't really see it, but my point remains, you're going to have to do it with different classes. You're going to have to do some grinding at some point. I just remembered something else. So another thing is, yeah, see? So maybe it levels up with you. You know what? I'll go ahead and see this through to the end. I will. I'll see this through to the end. But before I finish that, unless, of course, the emergency I told you about happens. Real quick before I forget again. So something else was a side quest that, slight spoilers for those of you who do it, but it is a side quest. Essentially, this man, cat man, was guarding this tower. He was the lookout for the village, and a light eater snuck up on the village essentially because it looked so very human, or like a person in his own words. It didn't look like a beast, it looked like a person until it was too late, and then half the village got wiped out. So yeah, content clues. I think that's the place. I literally just got done talking about it, and I think that's the actual place I was just mentioning. Like, if I go here and I see that particular dude, oh man. So let's see if I'm right. That is so cool though. So see, this wasn't a thing in Storm's Blood, not really, or any of the parts of the expansions, I don't think, where side quests that seem totally unrelated actually aren't, or aren't related actually are. Because like I said, the one I did earlier was like really low level. Matter of fact, no, I didn't get in the stream because it was side quest, but it was a really low level, and you had to do it for the Aether current, as a matter of fact. So one way or another, you would have to do it if you wanted to fly here. So I just think that's so interesting. They don't seem like they're related at all, but they are. Let me see if I can find them real quick, because I'm not sure if this is the village. Like, just by looking at it, I'm not sure. Because I'm not seeing any of the key players. Yeah, I don't know if this is the exact village. Actually, I think it is, because there's that lighthouse. Yeah, I think this is the place. Yep, I think I remember him. Yeah, I think this is the place. It would help, though, if the mayor was here. Yeah, the mayor's not standing around, which is kind of odd. But yeah, I remember that Mender. I believe this is the place. He mentioned that the Light Eater looked so human that he didn't know that was a Light Eater till it was right up on the village attacking him. So, funny little thing is, I'm gonna be right back here for a second before I see what's up with this guy. But funny little thing I forgot to mention is when I was doing the Gunbreakers story, I could have gotten a better gunblade, but I didn't think about it at the time. I was just so hyped to do the quest, I didn't think about it. But I could have gotten an augmented Shire bayonet, I believe it was called. Instead, I was using like a deep gold gunblade, which is much weaker than what you could have gotten. So I thought that was kind of lame. It would have been nice to have gotten it earlier and had like the complete augmented Shire set. Plus, it would have made my job just a bit easier. But again, it's not that big of a deal because I did beat it all in one try. So Be right back. Hey guys, I just got back. It turns out that emergency is a thing, so give me 1 second, please. So yeah, let me just kind of speed what this guy's talking about. Yeah, that's a very odd place to end the stream. But don't worry, once this is sorted out, sorry, I'm kind of eating right now too because I got hungry. Once this is sorted out, one or two things are going to happen. Either I'm going to go ahead and take my nap because it's like 12 o'clock in the morning, almost 1 actually, on a Sunday even. And then either I'm going to take my nap, and you'll know because the stream won't continue, or once this emergency is taken care of, I'll come right back and we'll pick up right here. But either way, I'm going to have to end it. So thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you around.